Hey, what's up, YouTube? Let's do that. Okay. Hey, what's up, YouTube? All right, thanks for checking out this video. So today, yes, I'm going to give you some helpful tips and some tutorial on how to change out your ignition switch. All right, all of these fit pretty much the same design on any Mercedes-Benz from 1985 to 1995. They have this very exact design. When you need to change this actually supplies voltage to all of your accessories inside of the car or anything that needs electric. Once you start the car up, this is going to be the main device to do that. So this is why it is so important to have this and to fix this. What was causing the problem in mine is that the climate control system fan stopped working. And as you'll see in the next clip of this video of how to kind of go through and diagnose that, this was the problem in mine. Now, this also does control the power to the radio, power to the climate control, power to the starter, power to the lights. So if you're having any of those issues, and if your key is also kind of sticky, I think when you put it inside there and you turn it, and it's kind of stick clucky like that. And when you turn it, it doesn't kind of go back real nice and tight and fast, kind of like that. This is the problem that's causing that. Not so much the lock itself, the kind of black part that you're sticking the key inside of. That's not always the problem. It's usually this. And this is so important to the operation of the car. So I would say when you're changing this out, definitely go ahead and get the OEM Mercedes-Benz one. I'm not sure if you can see the number on here. It is, let me see if I can see it. It's 202-545-0104. And I got this on eBay for $39. You can find it a little bit cheaper for about $32 if you search around. But definitely stick with the original Mercedes-Benz because you'll be better off in the long run with that. So this video is going to help you to diagnose what was my problem with my Mercedes is that the climate control fan wasn't coming on, and this should show you how to remove this. And if you have those other problems that's related to this should help. And if you stick into the end of the video, I know this video is kind of long, but I actually take this unit apart and you can see what was going on with mine and probably what's going on with yours and how this mechanism kind of functions. So I hope this helps, and I'm going to stop talking now and go ahead and check it out. Number one, if the blower is not working, check your fuse, okay? And it's not here in the fuse box. A lot of people automatically go to this and like, what fuse is it? Nope, it's not there. The fuse for the blower resistor and the blower motor is right here. Right there. It's a little black box, has a number on it. It's right next to the strut. You can't miss it. Mine, which I'll show you in the next clip, actually caught on fire. Now, once that caught on fire, what was supposed to happen is this right here is a 30 amp strip fuse is supposed to, crack and stop the circuitry and electricity from flowing. But that didn't work, and that didn't happen. Mine's actually stayed together the whole time and caught it on fire. It melted the wire here, and this didn't work. So what I thought to do would be, let me get a new one of these, get a new 30 amp strip fuse. Let me replace this wire, and boom, everything should work. Well, nothing happened. Still nothing came on. Sorry it was a little bit windy out here today. So here is what actually the end result of those wires catching on fire, or the circuit not being broken when there's too much voltage going through that wire. So mine just melted, caught on fire, and melted that wire. As you can see, melted that. Next is to get inside that crawl space where the squirrel cage blower is and the voltage regulator is. So I went ahead online and I purchased new voltage regulator and the squirrel cage blower just to see if that will work. Got it all installed inside of there and plugged it in. Boom, nothing came on, nothing worked. All right, to get this project started, what you're going to need to do first is take out your instrument cluster. You can remove that either by having those little prongs that go here on the left and on the right, and you can just slide that out, disconnect everything, and you can remove these plastic pieces here and the one that's right there. There's bolts behind here, screws behind here. I think it's 6 of them, and then there's some screws that are right underneath here that you'll need to remove. As you'll see in the next step, you can easily pull this down, and once you remove the instrument cluster, you'll be able to remove the 2 screws that are right here that hold the steering wheel up, and you'll be able to push that down and have more access to the lock and the cylinder. First thing to get stuff started, you see you have your car here. Then remove all your plastic stuff that's right here. Take those off and expose the bolts that you see right here. And along the other side, you'll see you have that right there. You can take the bolt 1 off, that's right there, and bolt 2. I think these are 8 millimeters. You're probably gonna need the really small tool to get those off. These are all 8. And then there's one right there. Now once you remove all of these, what you'll do next, so you can do it reverse step when you're first taking things off, or like me, when I'm putting everything back together, all of this is set up right. And now I'm just going to put the steering wheel mount back up into the right position. You'll see there's some holes that are down here. I'm not sure how good you can really see down in there or not. But as you can see right here, there's some 2 holes with a 13 millimeter bolts, and you just slide those back in and screw those back on so it's in the right mounted position. So gauge cluster, get inside there. You can see down in there, that's where the switch is. Move all of this stuff out, like I showed you in the other one. And then what you'll need to do is expose the lock cylinder itself. Okay, so what you'll need to do next is put the key into position number 1, which is the, I'm not sure if you can see it, it's actually right here, where that click is. Now, to remove this, you're going to have to take this whole assembly out. In order to remove that, you will see, I'm gonna push it back in, down here at the bottom, which is right there where I'm pointing to. Take something pointing and push that in. I'm not sure how good you can really see that. I'll back out a little bit. Sorry, keys in the way. Push that in, and then once you push that in, I have to back out. Once you push that inside there, you'll be able to move that right out, but I can't do it with one hand. So that's how you remove the ignition lock from inside here to access the switch that's all the way in the back there. It's very tight, and you can never get to it without removing that. All right, now also underneath here, you're gonna need a T30, one of these. So get yourself one of the Star T30s, and once again, I'm not sure how good you can see, but underneath here, right up here, you're going to have one of the bolts, and you're going to need to take that off. That's going to be holding one of the shafts on. So you're going to need to take that and screw that back inside there, and that's a T30. Doesn't take too much time to do, but just make sure you don't forget about that when you're putting that in. All right, so once you push that in, let's see, hope you can see this. Okay, it's going back in again. Sorry, it's kind of hard to do with one hand. All right, there we go. We'll see, and it'll push right out. Then you have the unit out, so that way you can, sorry, trying to do this with one hand is hard. You'll be able to get it out, and then get to the ignition switch that's behind here. And then as you can see, let me see if I can focus around, these have these bolts right here. So now the switch is almost out. I'm going to take that and remove the bolts out. I take a little short Phillips screwdriver, and they're your little bolts, and you just take those 3 out right there. Very simple, nothing. So got that out, and then I'm just taking the switch out itself. Looks like it came directly out that way. It's not very hard to do. You can just line it up and then put it right back in where those numbers are. That's how mine's actually sat right inside there. And just make sure your lock is at the number 1 position, right? Oh, scratch, mine's all up. And then you can kind of set this into place by making sure you get that right. So I'm not sure if you can see what the angle is versus where that is, and you can sit it right into place there and then reattach your screws into there. All right, so I wanted to make sure when you are reinstalling this wire right here goes to the transmission, which I'll show you, that goes back into the lock assembly. Make sure you line up your numbers here. Like this will be on top, and that's what you'll see when you first take everything apart. And just line the numbers up, you know, the 30, the 15 times, all that. And then you can just switch back and just make sure what you're seeing here lines up correctly when you go to reinstall it. It'll be easier to put it on there right now because you won't have much room from up this way. I'm not sure what you can see, but that's the easiest way to do it from here. All right, now that I have that plugged back in, I'm not sure how good you can see. It's getting kind of dark and I'm trying to use the light. You're going to make sure to put your connections back on. This one right here for the transmission. That's an easy screw in one. It's not super hard. And then here at the bottom, make sure to put your connections in for here, which is easy to install once you have that all back assembly back together and hooked up. Sorry, I can't really see it too well, but make sure you plug everything back in. So you can do it reverse that when you're first taking things off, or like me when I'm putting everything back together. All of this is set up right, and now I'm just going to put the steering wheel mount back up into the right position. You'll see there's some holes that are down here. I'm not sure how good you can really see down in there or not, but as you can see right here, there's some 2 holes with a 13mm bolts, and you just slide those back in and screw those back on so it's in the right mounted position. So all right, so let me, before I put everything back together, let me see if it even works. I mean, I put everything else on the car, and I'm hoping this will work too. Oh my god, maybe not. Shit. Ignition switch apart. Just to see what was going on inside of there, which is pretty easy to do. Just punch those on the sides and it should slide right on out. When I did mine, I noticed that something fell out immediately, which was this piece right here. And then when I looked inside of here, as you can see, that's broken. That just came out. And yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. Definitely won't focus, but yep, so that's broken, number 1. However, that goes inside there. Then of course I like to inspect electrical units. So as you turn this, it's kind of neat. So as you turn it, certain ones are activated and certain ones aren't. So I'm not sure if you can really see. I'm gonna turn the switch, and then like some are pressed up now. See, that one's pressed up, down, up, not touching.